My name is Omar Grey. I am from South Seattle, and I'm an athlete here at UW. I play soccer. I'm Jamaican. Something I want you to know about me is, I don't know, I love people, and I love the life I live because there's so much to it.
Parallel to you falling back in love with soccer, you're a teenager.
Yeah.
We know teen years can be tough.
Teen years are interesting. That's
yeah. And you're coming into who you are. I know when I was a young lady, that was a process for me, but I know it's also parallel for young men as well. You're coming into a sense of who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as you're coming into a sense of your passion for soccer, what were you coming into a sense of for you as a person?
Really, that was just a place and point where I knew I was starting to grow a lot more in my faith. That was definitely a huge turning point for me around 2016. Trying to just learning to stay true to myself, just realizing that I have so much individuality within me that, isn't like the next person. So just kind of just embracing it, and then just freeing your mind and your heart just so you can be who you are freely without any, borders, without any hindrances, without any, societal pressure, on you, just kind of just breaking away, And whether I knew it then or I didn't, or if I just noticed it right now, it was I think it was that. So I think just allowing my heart to do what I wanted to do. And then also, it was a point where, you're getting older, and I'm thinking about, I want to have a career. I'm an athlete. All I did in my life, I played sports. I did many other things, but sports was something that I wanted to do. So if I know that I want to continue in my, adult years, it was like, okay, well, we kind of have to start narrowing down. And I remember sophomore year was my last year playing football. Junior year was my last year playing basketball. And then, so I guess it was kind of just thinking about the big picture.
Purpose has been my word of the year.
I like this topic.
Yeah, I mean, we might as well just dive right in, right? It's
Why not?
kind of how the juices are flowing. Purpose has been my word of the year because it is one of the greatest missions we can have in life, is not just becoming aware of our purpose, but also fulfilling our purpose.
Come on.
And I am hearing you say something about becoming aware of your purpose then and allowing your heart to open.
Yeah.
That's such a profound statement to say you allowed yourself to open your heart. I'm curious to know what was happening in 2016 that compelled you to move in that direction. Take me back to that space.
Truth be told, I have no idea. Can't lie. I have no idea. I don't. It was just changing of the mind just kind of started to come about, and then everything else just kind of started flowing. It's kind of, honestly, it started off with seeking Christ, to be honest. If you think about it, seek ye first his kingdom and his righteousness, and everything else will be added unto you. It's kind of like that. I think that's the easiest way I can explain it. I really don't have too much words for it.
With the conversation of your faith in Jesus, just to clarify it.
Yeah, my God.
Where did that start? Because it sounds like that was a tool. A question that I asked earlier was about the tools that then empowered you, encouraged you. That sounds like an ultimate tool, really the toolbox.
That literally is the key.
When was that seed planted?
There was many seeds planted in my life growing up. I seen some crazy things, in terms of miracle signs and wonders, in terms of, supernatural things. Just also just a background of Jamaica, you're exposed to a lot more things in the spiritual things than in America. Okay, 2016, actually my mom just up and took me and my sister, just one of my sisters, to Atlanta and South Carolina. We went to this conference. And long story short, I was just exposed to a lot. It wasn't just, surface level. Like it was really, diving deep and going into like the secrets of the Word of God, and like the just how you live as we were spiritual beings, and just all of these different things. And my mind, it was just really just open. And I've seen people who have disabilities from birth, you know what I mean, up and like have stuff like be healed like before my eyes, and just like I can get into it, but just a lot of stuff like that. And then I just really wanted more. So, and as I wanted more, I just kind of, I guess, as I sought after God, it naturally pulls you away from the world, So in that aspect, that's from 2016, I would say, was kind of the start.
That opened up your heart.
Yeah, that opened up. And then it kind of, you talk about, you talked about purpose a little bit, it's now I'm seeking for something. I have a purpose, which now I can be courageous in, which ultimately could have led to why, my heart was open to be who I am and play soccer and do this, be the Jamaican goofy kid, who was around, who grew up in the neighborhood, who grew up in the hood, really. Each individual person has a identity, to themselves. Like your desires and the desires of your heart are given to you. They're yours, but they're also given to you from God, you know what I mean? Like you're your own unique path. The reason why you like certain things, the reason why you have this certain knickknacks, the reason why you like to dress this way for a little bit is because that's you. And now with you being you, you also have your own unique, purpose, to fulfillment through God's plan, through God's will, which means that if you're trying to really be like somebody else, you know what I mean? You're kind of falling away from your own path, from your own purpose, because you have your own unique, little idiosyncrasies and your own little mannerisms, you know what I mean? Has a special way to only reach a certain unique people that only you can touch, only you can reach, only you can be around. So it's fitting for you. So the more you kind of fight that and, subside from that, you kind of just depleting yourself, I feel like.
For the person whose first time was hearing this, it seems very complex.
Yeah.
But I've been around it my whole life as far as believing in Jesus and building relationship with Jesus and with God, and really a greater understanding of myself. See, the thing about being different, there's a lot of connotations with that. And sometimes people around you know that you're different. Your friends from South Seattle, from the South End, knew you were different.
Yeah.
Right? But sometimes we don't want to embrace the fact that we're different, because not only does it mean that you are not like others, it then means that there's a standard for you to follow and uphold that others won't be able to relate to, and or you have to be solely responsible for it once that's revealed to you. And so I think I pushed that away a lot. I knew I had this inner light. I was always affirmed and confirmed, and I definitely shined it, but I was okay with shrinking and dimming it for the convenience of others around me.
Wow.
Because I didn't want to be too bright.
Wow.
I didn't want to be too loud. I didn't want to be too myself. Didn't know what about me was going to rub someone else, until I became aware that this is me. Like, I was created for a greater purpose. And when I say purpose, for those who may not be aware, purpose is the idea that you were given from the time you were born, really before you were born in existence. You were then set aside for a unique, I guess, calling, purpose. I can't help but to say the word intention.
Yeah.
That's a synonym for purpose. Set aside for a great intention. Nothing that you do, nothing that you are is an accident.
No coincidences.
No coincidence. Whether you were born in a situation that made you feel like a burden or inconvenience, everything about you is deliberate. And so it's unpeeling that. It's then knowing, all these qualities that I have weren't created for me to shrink. That light that I have wasn't created for me to dim. It was really for me to tap in more with, to become more aware about. And the moment that I accepted the title of different, that everyone else saw and that I knew deep inside, and there was a reason why I couldn't do everything that everyone else was doing. why I couldn't go where everyone else was going, because of that purpose. And so it's a complex idea, but I just want to emphasize that when you are different, embrace it. And I know sometimes, especially being in high school, you feel like you rather disguise and fit in because it's safer. I encourage those out there to take that leap, to be different, to embrace what makes you unique, because there's something about your uniqueness that's going to free other people. Okay, take a pause.
That was a whole lot of gems right there. That was good. My ideas are more than, you know, the greatness on the field. You know, like my mind is so much more complex than that. My heart desires for so much more than that. You know what I mean? Even like we said, my attachments. You know, I feel like I'm relatable to almost everything, because I want to do everything. Which, if that's the case, you can't just kind of label me towards only being a soccer player. You know what I mean? Soccer is truthfully just a thing I do for fun. I'm being honest with you. It's just what I do for fun.